Hello, listeners. Welcome to the Dream Stream of Consciousness. I am Yiskah Cook.
And I'm Ellen Ronis.
Hi, Ellen. So good to see you.
Good to see you. Happy
Happy
New
New
Year.
Year
Yeah.
to you.
To you and to everybody.
Yes, yes.
Blessed.
Happy and healthy, joyful.
Yeah.
Let the year be filled with light, love, and laughter.
Hmm.
So I was just sharing with Ellen how well, I didn't do much on New Year's Eve. I had dinner with my son and his dad, and then they left. And then I ended up watching Meet Joe Black, which was fabulous. Anthony Hopkins is a master at his art. I think everyone might agree. Or may not agree, but that was my opinion. And Brad Pitt was really good in it. So, but then I didn't want to rejoin because I was doing it by myself. So I didn't want to rejoin civilization. Like, not that I was holding it afar. I just didn't want to be a part of like I knew the next day I would want to see all the fireworks displays around the world. I was something I definitely wanted to be a part of seeing, but I didn't want to that night. But so I was getting ready to go to bed, and a loud thunderclap, boom, like at 11:45. I was like, okay, heck of a way to ring in the new year.
Yeah. I
So
guess you're up. You're up and rejoining,
yeah.
joining, whatever, whether you like it or not.
That's special though, too. It was raining. We were just talking about how the weather is changing.
Yes. Yes.
So you were saying in Santa Fe, it was
Yeah, it's
warm.
warm. It's just warm here. I mean, people don't ever think that we have winter. They think because it's the Southwest, it's always warm, but it's not. We have
Oh, I know you have winter.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we have winter, and snow and things, but it's
sure.
been so mild. It's been like 60 degrees or 58 degrees, 60, for the winter time, that's really cold,
Yeah,
really warm. Um,
right.
and, bright and sunny. We're desperate for water as per usual.
Yeah,
Part of
yes,
the but yeah, it's just odd. That's all. It's just,
yes.
odd weather patterns going on, I think, all over,
I think
but
so.
most of us,
On a global scale.
yeah, yeah, most of us are aware of those global weirding, as some people call it.
Oh,
Yeah, just things changing weather-wise and in every other way wise. Yeah, and just to riff on your New Year's Eve thing,
yeah,
I wanted to share that for me, New Year's Eve, the holiday time in general, I get a little bit bah humbug-ish.
yeah.
I do get a little bit like cranky. I don't, it
Mm,
just happens. And
sure.
because I don't, there's so many reasons really, but not the least of which is that I often feel like, I have to have my whole next year figured out. I have to have myself figured out. I have to fix myself, make my intentions, make my, the rules for 2025, what I'm supposed to do and what projects I want to accomplish and how I want to feel and where I want to, like, it's just exhausting and stressful. So I like every year get into a little bit of
That's a
that.
tall order to have figured out for
But
you
it's
year
our
ahead.
culture. It's our cultural norm in a way to do that. Like New Year's
It really
resolution
is.
is a thing that people do. And we all know what happens to those resolutions after 2 weeks.
Well, I would like to differ there.
Mhm.
Last New Year's, I hadn't been meeting my New Year's resolutions ever. Maybe once. Last year I decided I was going to learn Spanish. And I have been learning Spanish every single day of that entire year. And I was interested to see there were only 360 days last year because I didn't miss a day and I only got up to 360.
Hmm.
So I don't know how that works, the Gregorian calendar or anything, but
Started a few days after January 1st. Who knows?
so but I was really proud. So then that then put even more on my shoulders because then I felt like, oh, is this the new thing now? Every New Year's I have to make the resolution that's gonna carry me through the year. I'm
Yeah.
still doing my Spanish, but
Good.
what I said was Mondays and Fridays I was gonna write. And at first I was gonna write, I had like a whole large amount of time carved out, but my friend said, just give yourself a short window. And then you don't know other days of the week aside from Monday and Friday, you might also want to write. Give yourself 20 minutes, not
Mhm.
2 hours, which I was like, I don't know what I was thinking. And I was thinking of not succeeding, is really what I was thinking. So I'm going to try that. Hasn't been a Friday or a Monday yet.
Great.
Wish me luck.
Yeah, no, it's good. I mean, I think if you have one thing that you've been sort of wanting to do and it seems like an easy enough thing to just create that, carve out the time, I think for myself, it's much more global, much grander in my
Yeah.
mind, of what because it is never just one thing that I want to do. It's
Yes.
never, oh, I've been wanting to write, and so I'll just do this writing. It's like 10 different
I
things.
know. That's why you have to like
Yeah, it's just,
narrow down. I mean, you don't have to for sure, but
yeah.
if you want
I
to
just,
accomplish,
I think this year I just am preferring to, I am still working on some things, some questions that I'm asking myself, which I think is some brilliant questions, actually.
okay,
Not my, I've gotten them from somewhere, but some really interesting questions to ask oneself if you really aren't sure what your intentions are or exactly what you want to feel or exactly where you want to go. Um, so that's something I'm working on, and but also more importantly is to just accept
yeah,
exactly as things are right now,
yes,
exactly who I am in this moment, exactly what I'm doing every day, like just because if I don't do that, none of the intentions are going to settle. They're all going to
absolutely.
feel like a punishment or something I have to do because I'm not okay.
Right, right.
So it's really a lot about acceptance and presence, those big
Yeah, yes, I like both of those things very much.
acceptance and presence.
Acceptance and it's not easy.
No.
I'm sorry, I'm a little distracted. I listened to a podcast that I have to give to you. It's called, what is it called? I don't know if she uses the word ambitious. It's something like the ambitious introvert. And it's about creating your business. And whatever it was, it made me think of you so much. I'm gonna find it and send it to you. But the only reason I'm thinking of that is because so much of this past year has been, expecting things of oneself and then, meeting it or not, and I think that we maybe need to do a different tact
Yeah.
this coming year.
Yeah.
How would it be to, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if you're a role like a goal setter and then you try to realize your goals. I don't know how
Yeah. None of that ever really works well for me,
I
you
don't
know.
think that works. Well, it doesn't work well I shouldn't say
Yeah.
it doesn't work for anyone. It doesn't work for me either.
Doesn't work for most people. It's why the whole resolution thing, the New Year's resolution, it's like everybody's like
Two
in the gym
weeks
the third
later,
week of January, and then you go to the gym and it's like, where's everybody? Because everyone has the goal of, better health. And, and I get it. I want that,
or when you go to the gym early January, everybody's there.
That's what I'm saying is everyone's
And
there
then
for
2 weeks later,
2 weeks.
oh, okay, that's
You
right.
go like the third week and you're like, ah,
Oh,
okay.
right, right. Oh, where's
What's
everyone?
happening here? And then, and then I'm off the wagon too, or on the
Right.
wagon, whatever, however I'm gone. Anyway, I don't really do that anymore. I don't really set those kind of, intentions or goals for, I mean, the bottom line always is to be healthier, right? It's not about like, okay, right.
Tú quieres viajar conmigo? Puerto
Conmigo,
Rico,
a dónde?
Puerto Rico.
¿Puerto Rico?
Sí.
Ah, ¿cuándo?
Um, uh, Before the end of the summer, Veranos. Uh, uh, I mean, before the end of the winter.
¿Simplemente viajar o
Sí.
por how do you say reason?
Oh, for cake?
For what? Yeah. Yeah, for vacation or for what?
Oh,
For
also, I really want to be immersed. See, I know the language. I've been learning for a year. I can like conceptualize what I'm wanting to say to you and might not know how to put the verb in the right tense, but I can get I want to be immersed. I want to live somewhere immersed in a culture
Mhm.
that a Spanish speaking culture. And I was thinking of going out of the country, but I'm thinking with this change in government soon, best I stay in the country,
Yeah.
you know.
Hot or best to get the heck out.
Oh, that
Yeah.
might be. But I will want to be coming back, and I don't know. I don't know
Right.
what's going
Right.
to happen. I
No,
mean, I
no.
know I'm being paranoid, um, but that's why I was thinking Puerto Rico, and I've really been wanting to go there anyway. So,
Okay. I've been to Puerto Rico a couple
oh,
times.
oh, I haven't. Okay,
Yeah, a couple of times.
I
Yeah.
want to talk to you
Went for a
about
walk
that.
with a friend for a little vacation and then once with my
Yeah.
family. When I was with Tim, we went for my parents had an anniversary or
Oh, I
something.
love it.
That was really nice. Yeah. It's lovely. It's a lovely
I think
place.
my parents went there on their honeymoon,
Hmm.
in 19, gosh, 66 or something.
Uh-huh. Wow. That was when they were married. I was already 6 years old then. Well,
So
dream.
dreams.
Yeah.
Share. How's your dream life?
I have had a couple of dreams.
Well, that's wonderful. I always decide that, well, I think it's more than decide. I like to let the universe in to my life. I feel like the universe is working in our favor, everyone's favor. And so, I always like to give myself, like, I like to say, the first dream I have in the new year, maybe that will give me some indication of what the year will be for me. And then I give myself up to 3 nights because I don't always remember what I
Mhm.
dreamed. And so do you have a dream from this new year already?
Yeah, I've got two already.
Really? Oh, please share.
Yeah, I don't know how significant they are, but I'll just say last night's dream I didn't write down and it was something about it's like a familiar theme that I've had before where I'm in a some kind of a massage like a I don't know if it was a spa or some kind of a massage place and for those who don't know I am a massage therapist have been for nearly 4 decades um, and there was something about looking under the massage table. It was like little cupboards where the clean sheets were, and there were no clean sheets. And so I was like running around trying to find the clean sheets. And the feeling was like this mixture of anxiety, like I gotta do this, like I have a client and I need to find the clean sheets, and it was something about having to pay for them, or there was something about that, but I don't know how significant that is, but and also this feeling of like I don't freaking want to do this anymore. I don't want to be like, if I'm going to do this it has to be easy, which is peculiar because in my waking life it is easy. It's just me, small clientele, my own laundry. I don't, so it's kind of a peculiar thing. So I don't know.
That's very significant, I would think. But please, can we do hear the both dreams?
Sure. And the one before, day before was it's a little bit. Even when I was writing it, I remember writing things in sort of backwards order. But let me see if I can remember it without looking. Nope. Can't. Uh, okay, so okay, now I'm remembering. So I'm in a retreat center, kind of like an artist's retreat type of thing, with open land and some little cottages and art spaces and things. And I had my own private art space, and it was for pottery. So I had my own private little pottery studio. And then there was a larger, more public studio, like in another down the little hill or whatever,
Hmm.
where more people could work together. And there was something about there was a shelving unit where you put your, pottery to dry. And something about it, I had to go get another one or something. There was something wrong with it, or I'm going to read this. I'm going to read it,
Yeah,
but I know when I wrote it, it was also a little backwards. So
please.
um, I'm at what seems to be an art or retreat center in a country open space environment. I have a pottery studio of my own, and then there's a larger group pottery space, pottery space. When I go to the large space to work, I see that it has degenerated, was the word I used. It was kind of stripped bare, and it looked like it hadn't been used in a long time. The toilet was broken and stripped of its top. The shelf for drying pottery that was assigned to me was gone, oh yeah, so it was gone. There was no, I was supposed to have a shelf, and it wasn't there. So I went to get my private shelf to bring it down to the
Oh,
studio. And when I got to my own private studio to take that shelf to the public studio
right.
space that I had a
Hmm.
shelf there, there was like one or two pieces of pottery on it, and I broke them. Like they fell off the shelf and broke. Um, and as I was walking down, a good friend of mine who lives in the Hudson Valley, um, she was asking me, like, why is this so important? Because the feeling was like almost like an urgency, like to to do it right, to make the pottery. I got to make the pottery, that kind of thing. Like that I put myself in this retreat, like where all I could do was make pottery. And my answer to her was, um, let me see if I know I wrote it down like very specifically. Oh, I said, because I think this is my only value. Ouch. Yeah. It's
So,
a ouch.
can I ask some clarifying questions?
Or, or
So, the kiln is in the public space. Is that how?
I don't know if there was a kiln or whether it was a whole studio. Like I didn't see the specifics of it. I just know that it was a small pottery studio
Okay.
in my little like private space
Yes.
where I could work. And then there was not a public, but a bigger space where more artists could
Yes.
work at the same
And
time.
so, if I'm the dreamer, I am the artist in residence.
Yes, I'm the artist. Oh, and there's more I just saw actually that I had
Oh,
forgotten.
okay.
When I was going from my small space, which was kind of up a hill, and the
Mhm.
larger space was down the hill,
Mhm.
um, there was a choir. Like there were other arts happening at this in this camp or whatever, like
Yeah.
this place. So there was a choir, and they were in white robes with red trim and red sashes or something, and they were kind of in formation, and they were singing and walking down the field to that same space that I was going to. And I remember feeling like irritated because they were going to be just like closing a curtain on, they were going to be just on the other side of where I was supposed to be.
Oh,
And that it was like going to be too much energy, too much noise, that I was really needing I was needing space, my own space somehow, to work. So that was a piece that I had forgotten that I just
that's
looked.
so interesting. So, now do these two dreams feel connected to you, and in what way, if so?
I, um, I think they seem connected in the way that they both have to do with my life's work in a certain way,
Mhm.
right? Like massage is my actual
Mhm.
way that make a living. And pottery is really just supposed to be something that's fun that I do. But
Yeah.
sometimes I do put a lot of pressure on myself to make things and be good. And, I'm pretty self-critical. But it is all about like, yeah, some kind of work, um, kind of expression of myself, I guess, in the world. Yeah. And including choir. I'm not in a choir, but I have been in my life and I love to sing. So, I'm not really,
Yes.
you
Oh,
know,
right.
comes in the picture, but
Oh, I'm gonna take a little leap here and make a projection. And that's if this were my dream, and I'm feeling like this is the only thing that gives me value, the pottery. Is that what I said to the friend?
Mhm.
Then this choral group is coming. It's almost there's the and I'm putting the dreams as one and the massage, the feeling about I just want it to be easy
Yeah.
before and a dirty sheet. And I think that I'm feeling like there's too many. I'm being, and I feel like maybe I've felt this way before, the being pulled in too many different directions. And that's what I'm getting because if I feel like pottery's the only thing, but then there's this chorus, but I used to sing too, but now I don't even want to hear them because for whatever reason, it just feels like a lot of different
Yeah.
things, possibilities.
I'm not sure if I had received, I actually in waking life received an invitation from a friend. There's some kind of a choir. I forget what they call it, but it's like, I don't even know. I'm not sure even what it's about, but she sort of invited me to, look into it with her. It's some kind of a choir where they're going to go to like site specific places and
Oh,
sing. And it's not professional, not for
right.
professional. And she knows I like to sing, and so she
Yes.
pass this on to me. And I always want to say yes to everything, especially when it comes to creative.
Yes.
There's like anything, singing, music, dance, painting, pottery, poetry, right? I mean, I love all of it.
Yes.
Constantly pulled in many directions. So I think, there's something about me being discerning. And maybe that
Yeah.
was the massage dream was about
Oh, yes.
like I don't want to have to fuck around with other people's laundry or worry about if
Mhm.
there's enough clean laundry, to put on the massage table. Like, like, I don't know, maybe just, yeah, I'm just kind of riffing. Like, I'm not really
Yes.
sure.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're just trying to discover. I think that's a really interesting insight. And how do I feel about pottery these days? I know you were saying, I mean, I have to say as a customer that the recipients of your cups are very happy.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm glad. And I love, I do, love a lot of my pottery. Some of it I just like can no good, but
Right.
that's any art, anything, you're
Yeah.
always going to do some crappy stuff until you get the good stuff, the same
Do
with
you
writing.
love, is your thing more like the shape or is it more the dyes? Are you working more with the
Well,
colors?
I know it's interesting because I like a lot of different aspects at different times. I love the shapes, the sensuality of making.
Yes.
But I very much love color and the colors of the particular like glazes and firing that we have in
Yes.
our studio, which is beyond my control.
Right.
Is not my they're not my favorite, so I have to sort of experiment and I enjoy the sort of enjoy the process. Most
Yes.
enjoy it if it comes out good. I'm
And
like,
I
oh,
think that would be like the best way to relate with one's creative path. And even I don't know if it's, for work or for just,
yeah.
soul creativity.
Well, yeah,
Is
pottery has always been a lot more to me than just making art because it's
yes.
not really, I mean, it is art, but it's not, yeah, it's just it's the process of it, right? It's the physicality of it.
Mm.
And sometimes I like that whole process.
Could you hold on 1 second, my dear? I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Thank you for taking a break. You were saying,
Yeah, I think I just, what I'd like to say about it all is that there's a process, and sometimes I enjoy that process, but a lot of times I don't, because it's like I like immediate gratification. When I do my
okay,
watercolors, it's like you put the paint on and you see it, and maybe you let it dry and you come back and you do another thing and then you see it. This is like weeks sometimes before you actually see what your pottery looks like. So it's yeah, there's some part of me does not enjoy that part of it. But I guess the other thing I really want to say is that I just come in and out of loving it. I don't always love it. And I just signed up. I spent, money I don't really have on another 8 weeks because I really wanted to I want to keep giving it a try. I want to,
I'm
get,
so glad.
but then I don't. But then I don't want to. Like, then I'm just like, yeah, I like, there's definitely a
And
little
you're
push
like,
and pull.
why did I sign up for that?
Yeah, it's like I don't have to do the thing that's feeling like a struggle. Like, I mean, and God, it's hard to be me sometimes.
Uh,
On the other hand, in order to get really good at something where you feel like you really have something, you have to keep practicing.
yeah,
So, you know, I'm I'm just not sure whether I want to keep. I also just don't want to do a thing that I don't want to do.
sure.
So
And
I'm just
I,
coming. I don't know.
I don't want to do a thing. But it just comes down to I don't want to do a thing I don't want to
That's
do.
the bottom line. I'm 64. I don't have to do that anymore.
No, you don't.
Yeah, like I just, and at the same time, because I do, have so many different possible outlets and so many different possible things that I can do that I enjoy to a certain degree. Like, I have to decide, I think, on some of them. I can't be doing all of them in a half-assed way because that won't feel good either.
Right.
So, anyway, I don't.
I no, I totally agree. I mean, I think what you said is really the answer to all these queries, which is that if you want to get good at something, you have to practice, you have to do it. And how wonderful that we can still find things that interest us in this world, even into our older years, and still can learn. That was one thing that was, I mean, I just didn't know. I didn't know. I'm in my 50s. Can I still learn? Like, you know what they say about old dogs, and it, yes, the answer was
Oh,
yes.
the answer is definitely yes.
I
Yes.
can still learn. I've
Yeah.
been learning all kinds of things. I mean, I guess I've always known because I do. I always say I take my deep dives into down the YouTube rabbit hole where I'm learning new things. So I knew I could learn in that way. But as far as like learning Spanish than to speak it.
Hmm.
That was wonderful to
Hmm. Yeah.
just
Yeah.
learn.
Yeah. No, it is. It's really fun to learn new things.
Muy bueno. Excelente.
Yeah. Yeah. I
So,
don't know.
okay, well, so what do you want to know from these dreams? Anything else? We should also ask, I mean, you kind of said it, I feel like, maybe not so directly, but how did you feel when you woke up from these dreams?
Um, Kind of frustrated, kind of
Mm.
out of sorts. Yeah.
Was it like the same similar feeling? Is that what feel makes you feel these dreams? I mean, I get it, January 1st and 2nd. Obviously, I would think of these dreams as related.
Um, Maybe not, just I think it really just feels like my brain is processing different things in my life.
Yes.
One is the pottery and one is the body work. And I think it's just
Yeah.
processing
Yeah.
about those things. To be honest, I don't know that there's a whole, I mean, I think there's always mystery in the dream world. And
Yeah.
we don't always touch on that because
That's
we're
that's true.
symbolically and other things. But, well, I mean, symbols are part of the mystery too. But, um, I'd have to look at it, I think, in a different way than we're
No,
looking.
I think so. We're looking at it sort of literally, like actually,
Superficial. Yeah. Yeah.
and Jeremy Taylor, one of our dream teachers, says a dream always, no, never comes to tell you what you already know.
Right.
So
Right.
that's, and again, we talk about this frequently, but that's why it's so important to have a dream buddy to share, or better yet, a dream circle to get all different perspectives.
Mhm.
Because a dream is not coming to tell you what you already know. You already know that you don't want to wait for the pottery. You'd like immediate
Right.
gratification. You already know that you're kind of done doing the massage work. You want to do something else now.
Right.
So,
Right. So what else? Like, I don't know. So, sometimes dreams though are just processing something, right? Sometimes they're just processing, like, or just kind of reminding you, like, yes, this is really true. You know this, but here it is again. So,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
um,
And sometimes it just sets itself up for, well, in my mind, what will the next dream bring?
mhm.
Because sometimes I feel like, and I haven't been here that recently, but sometimes I feel like I have dreamt in a series of
Yeah.
like
Yes.
telling me something that I need to know.
Yeah, that's all that has often happened to me. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll be interested.
Those clothing dreams, the one kind of
Yeah,
right.
exactly. The shoes dreams.
Yeah, and they were different. They just kind of kept getting more and more refined. And
Yes.
um,
The
yeah,
beach.
I'd like to know, what is the deeper meaning?
Sure you would.
Bodywork dream, it's more the other dream, the pottery one felt really, I mean, um, the thing about the value, that felt very sad to me.
Yeah.
That I would think that the only value I have is if I make good pottery. And then what if I make shitty pottery, that like the handle's crooked and the top is wobbly and the colors are weird, which I'd make plenty of those, by the way. It's like, oh, does that mean I don't have any value? I mean, again, it's not necessarily realistic. It's
Right.
potentially historical, but still, that feeling was very real. Of feeling like, wow, really? Oof, that's
Yeah.
it's harsh if that's really what I somewhere in me I believe to be true. Um, so I guess I want to know more about that. I just want to know more about.
I think I might incubate a dream.
Mhm.
Please, please expound. Dream life, please expound on these previous two dreams. I need to know more. I need wider lens.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting that I chose that particular friend. She's very, very,
Yes. But let's talk about her.
she's like a wordsmith. She's brilliant. She's very
Mm,
brilliant. And like genius, like on the numbers scale, actual genius.
right.
And
Oh,
doesn't mean anything really, to be honest, doesn't really mean that much to me, except, but in my connection with her, there's, she's very good at listening and mm, synthesizing what I'm saying and giving it back in such a way that it's like, ah, yes, makes me feel very heard and
yeah.
also like reflected back that and in a way that makes sense to me. So it's interesting that my psyche, chose her to be the one to ask me those questions. That she was like asking me these penetrating questions in the dream to try
Right,
to
right. Like prompts.
why is this so like why are you fussing with the shelves and the up and the down and then you're annoyed by that and because it isn't like this perfect environment for you and like why is this all so important and
Wow. Okay. So
so
this makes
um,
me think of dream reentry
hmm,
because I am describing this dream character as brilliant, a wordsmith, like I feel heard, I feel seen. She understands me, she listens, and I think I'm sure that that character is also within myself. And so because she's a wordsmith, perhaps now I want to do some writing. And I want to use the questions that she asked me as the prompt.
Mm.
I feel like she's prompting me to do some
Mm.
writing and to see where that might lead me.
That's a great idea. Yeah. That's a great idea, actually. Do a little writing about that. Yeah.
It's a wonderful way to honor your dream.
Yeah. 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 That's good. Yeah. Thanks. Thanks for that. Yeah. I knew that there had to be something to her, you know.
Sure, right, right.
Um,
Brilliant, wonderful.
Yeah.
I'll be interested as that evolves, if you'll share.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks.
So I wanted to have like a story dream. I wanted a narrative. I wanted, but I didn't seem to have that. But I did on New Year's Day, I woke up with an image of like a reddish blonde lion in the savannah. And then on January 2nd, I woke up with this like white wolf in the Arctic image.
Hmm.
And I know I feel that they have, because we don't only think of dreams in the unconscious mind. We could also have dreams, waking dreams, or like this would have been in um the place in between dreaming and waking,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a magic, uh, a little bit of the magic, the dream magic
Yeah.
in such a moment as that. Do you have any ideas?
I mean, the connection is very interesting, kind of wild animals in their environment.
It's and something about the camouflage that the red lion and the red savanna earth
Ah,
and then the white Arctic wolf in the Arctic.
oh, interesting. What do you make of that?
Well, something just came to me very strongly, and I'm kind of rolling my eyes at myself that only just came to me now, which is Phelan, my older son, his name means wolf. And Lev, my younger son, in Russian, the name Lev means lion.
Hmm.
So
Ah,
my two boys in
hmm.
their different environments,
Hmm. Hmm.
maybe I need to be paying attention to them again. It's so interesting to me. It's like when Phelan was a little boy, I would have to look at him and say, who is he now? I get it that we're the same person our whole lives, but different different manifestations of that. So as he was getting older as a little boy, I would have to say, okay, now, and who is he now? So maybe I need to look again. Who is who are my boys
Hmm.
now in their natural environments?
Yeah. Yeah. And like maybe like a sort of an odd question, but deeper in a certain way is like, what does the environment mean to you? Like, what does, like, if the environment were a character, in the dream, like, what is that?
Right.
Is it doing? What is the environment doing for or with the character in the dream?
I guess it's like natural habitat, and uh habitación, that's Spanish.
Mhm, I know.
I know you know. The thing is, I wouldn't have known that had I not been learning Spanish all year. But so something about it's home. I guess it's the environment. It's interesting because of course, the sweet honey in the rock. Well, it's the prophet. It's the words of the prophet Khalil Gibran. Your children are not your children. They are the sons and the daughters of life's longing for itself. they come through you, but they are not from you. And though they are with you, they belong not to you. You can
Mm,
give them your love, but not your thoughts. They have their own thoughts. You can house their bodies, but not their souls, for their souls dwell in a place of tomorrow, which you cannot visit, not even in your dreams.
wow.
You can strive to be like them, but you cannot make them just like you. This is all Khalil Gibran's words that Sweet Honey sings. Um, and that it feels like that, they're their own people.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. That's beautiful, actually. I had never heard that before.
Yeah. Khalil Gibran's words, the prophet.
Sure, sure. Yeah, I don't remember ever hearing that
Yeah,
particular.
yeah. There's some real gems throughout his thoughts in the book. So maybe that, they're their own people and
Yeah.
I have to who are they now and really, really look more clearly at them. There's something clear in both of those environments, I feel like. In the
Mhm.
savannah, it's pretty stark. We've spoken about the desert before, although we may have been talking about North American desert. But but and then the Arctic, it seems so uh clean and stark
Mhm.
in
Mhm.
a similar but different way. I guess it's also showing me that my boys are quite different from one another. Of course, I know that also, but it gives me a new way to think
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's something similar but different, right? The similar in
Yes.
the world, as I see it. It's like, two separate dreams with like an animal in not only its own environment, but also sounds like in an environment that it matches, yeah, matches them.
And there's a way that, and the reason I wasn't thinking of the animals as my sons was I was thinking of the animals as me. And
Well,
I'm
but
every,
that is you, you
it
know.
is me,
I mean,
right? So what would that mean if I'm a lion? I'm I'm regal. I'm regal and I'm powerful. And if I'm an Arctic wolf, I'm wise
mm,
and cunning. No, that's more fox. I don't know. What do you think?
um, yeah, I mean, I guess I feel like whenever imagine a being or an animal or something, and it's like, what does that animal represent to me? What not what it represents like in the worlds of animal communication or animal whatever. Those there are books out there that
Right,
say
totem animals and
totem
right,
animal. What does it feel like to you? Like what it
which
what
might be informed by those books, but then it comes
maybe
to,
yes maybe, but like what is
I
it
mean,
what is
because I'm thinking of Aslan, the C.S. Lewis character of lion, Aslan, and it's represents God. But I would say it does for me. I don't know if that started the ruminating upon that connection or if that just, you know, made me feel that I wasn't the only one who thinks that way, but also because the sun, and I don't know if I think I must have told you about the sun in my life, but, and then the lion's mane looks like the sun and God. So we'll talk about that a different time, but, um, and then the Arctic wolf, I mean, I've just always felt so connected to wolf, but not so much Arctic wolf.
Mm,
But it's interesting if I think of the Arctic, and I guess also what I'm thinking right now is everything's kind of changing, taking us back to the very beginning of this podcast where we're talking about global warming or climate change or whatever that is. The Arctic is changing.
yeah,
Ice
yeah,
caps are melting, and so it may have something to do with that as well.
yeah.
Sure.
I
I'll continue to
do.
think about it.
Yeah, and it could, it could be also just the wildness of something in yourself.
Oh, I love that.
And I don't know, there's something for me in that about that imagery about the environments matching the beings feels really great to me.
Oh, yeah.
Like right place, like some part of you is in the right place.
Oh, I like that.
So it feels,
Okay.
yeah,
Wonderful.
environment feeds the being feeds the environment. Like, how we
I can
often
go,
we're looking, I am always like thinking, oh, where should I move? Is this the right place for me?
yeah,
How is the weather and the environment and the people, and like, is it the
yeah,
right fit? And it feels like those beings in your dream world were definitely in their right fit, or at least
yeah.
it looked like that.
It gives me it ensures, not ensures, but it comforts me to know that I'm going to extrapolate from these dreams that I am in the right place.
Mhm.
That
Mhm.
this is the right environment for me.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I don't disagree. Do you know I have a dispensary a block away? I don't disagree. Uh, so
Yeah.
thank you so much, Ellen.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I
Yeah.
hope our listeners got something out of that and also can be reminded that we all should pay attention to our own dreams in the beginning of this new year. I always feel like it's an important marker, just for me, even,
I think for me it isn't, which
Okay,
is why I started out this discussion that way, to say like the New Year's stresses me out because of that, because it's so culturally
uh,
ingrained that we look at it like it's this new beginning and this new, and it is. There
I
is like
try to put meaning in everything, so
it's a
don't let that affect
core,
you
yeah,
if
yeah.
that's not your thing.
That's okay. It's something
I
I don't
like I
either.
like that, that we have
Yeah,
difference of opinion because
yeah, and it's not
we're
like I don't
deeper.
find the meaning in it. It's just
Sure, of
it
course.
just it feels like pressure for me personally. I feel pressured to do something instead of just saying like, oh, like it's a, because even in saying this, it's a fresh, clean slate.
Oh, that's
And that feels like pressure for me. Well, what does that mean? And what am I supposed to be letting go of? And what am I supposed to be calling it? Like it just all feels very pressurized to me.
um,
It just, yeah. So,
that's interesting. I just thought of the fresh, clean slate is what the Arctic feels like to me. You know?
okay.
And then I don't know if the lion, it's like the older, the older year or something. I don't know. It doesn't really fit in my head, but I'm just trying to make it fit right now. Square peg,
Yeah,
round
yeah,
hole.
right. Yeah. Can't force
I
it.
can drop that.
Can't force it.
This was very special for me, Ellen. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I
Yeah.
I
Thank
did need to talk about that, and I didn't actually realize that until
Yeah, that seems like a very potent imagery for sure.
so potent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah. Guess I want to pray for some dream imagery that feels more deeper than what I feel like I keep dreaming about this. I keep sort of recycling the same imagery in
And I
certain.
would like to dream about like more of a story. I want a story. I want to entertain myself in the deepest way when I sleep. I want to have a story that has depth,
Mm,
meaning for myself. And
mhm.
it's great to have these marvelous images because of course a couple of gals like you and me, we can go far.
Well, I
But
think imagery is where the story, it's what the story is. I don't,
yeah, it's
you
true.
know,
It's,
right? Like ever like the whole story. Like I've never heard that before. Where,
it's true, right? It's
where
never
we get all the
beginning to
answers and
end.
we know where.
Right. That's very true.
I've certainly been entertained by some of my dreams.
Yeah.
But Yeah, I think it's sort of like the mystery. It's like where the,
Yeah. I mean,
so
I
the
think
word,
about how, in years and decades and even millennia before television or, recorded music or podcasts or, I mean, obviously these things are not that old, you
Mhm.
know.
Right, right.
But people used to, it was just their dreams. It was their dreams. And then in the morning, that's what they would share with one another. And I feel like that way of honoring your your own dream content. This is why when I was younger, I decided to live without a television. I didn't want, there was a lot of reasons. And one of them was I just want to know that my dreams are my my interior content and not coming from someone else's mind, or
Right. There's
any
so much
people's.
collective right now
So
because we're,
much collective, exactly.
right, right.
Exactly. And that was my feeling. But now I guess I do welcome that in my life again, because
Yeah.
that's now my entertainment. But I'd
Mhm.
like to go back to dreams being.
Yeah. Well, yeah, yeah, yeah. Digging, I think there's something, I don't know, the word digging in, like digging deep in,
Yeah.
like kind of like wiping away the
Yes.
superficial thing,
Yes.
superficial meaning, the thing that we think it means, and then
Yes.
like how do we kind of climb underneath or scrape away all that and see
Yes.
what it's messy. I think it's
Yes.
messy too, right? It's just it's
It's slashy. It's
life.
melting.
Yes, yes. It's like muddy and
Yeah.
slushy and messy, and the more we kind of wipe away the superficial imagery that we immediately think of,
Hmm.
maybe the deeper the meaning, we get some deeper meaning. I mean, I think that's what at least I'm always trying to do with the
I
dream
think
world,
I am as well.
right? Doesn't always get there, and there's different ways to do it. So we're continuing to explore all those different possibilities, I think.
Listeners, we'd love to hear your ways of, making meaning in your lives. I mean, we love the dream work because symbols and, the myths of it and the collective and the personal mythology and all of that. And I hope that you have ways of meaning making in your own lives as well.
Yes. Yeah.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year to all. May you be blessed with meaningful dream imagery that can help guide you in your waking life. And we are here to help you. So get
Yes,
in touch if you want to do a dream on our podcast.
we'd love that. So, as I always say in Hebrew, before we end, Cholamod Metukin.